Good evening. This is the weekend edition, January the 4th, January the 5th. I'm not sure, I do apologise why I seem to be focusing on being at crime scenes or police scenes. It just seems to be something that's happened at the beginning of this year, of 2025, of the first 4 days. But I said this will be a diary, a video diary of what happens throughout 2025, and it's sometimes what comes to mind. And yesterday, again, somebody said police sealed off near a corner of the car park, etc. In Old Harlow. It's only 5 minutes drive, whatever. Best zoom lens on my Nissan Juke. So I went down there, and I guess one of the judgment calls is, again, you sort of when you get out there and you do have a member of the public telling me, what all I heard was the police saying they've run off this way, etc. So you don't know if that is somebody, maybe they did hear that, or maybe it's just somebody who didn't hear that, think they heard it, whatever. But when you're approaching this and you can see the still police cars and one's got a blue light on, there's an ambulance there. But you sort of try and use your judgment where there's no CID there's no sort of scenes of crime officer, nobody with the clipboard, all those things. You think, all right, this could be, well, it looked like a criminal investigation. So, and you get the feeling, that Box Clever here respect the scene in that way, and any photographs you're taking, try and at least physically stand at some distance. And indeed, spoke to an acting inspector and just said that, and he was almost hoping that I would in that way. So it's given me a sense of what we've got there, and Julie reported that a woman's was found dead, etc. in her, I believe, in her car, and that's what we're published, and that's what I'm saying here. And then we will be taking it from there in many ways, but we're in all sorts of different lines in that respect. And so I'm only really at the moment here on Sunday evening, January 5th, reporting what I've reported online, etc. So that's very much about just trying to relate, every organisation trying to have a relationship with, and it continues from there. And just another thing completely different, just what I'm doing right now, is I find the history really important. It's a really key part of what we do. It's past, present, future, 1847, 1947, 2047, that mantra I'm not sure I've done, and I'll probably repeat myself a lot on these films, but and I find it fascinating. To let you know, Harlow was reported on before it became a new town, so it's tricky. I think pre-March 1953, I'll get to that date in a second. It's tricky to find, or trickier to find. I think if you go into the British Newspaper Archive, you may find it different papers to do with Hertfordshire, to do with the Essex Chronicle, but we are a series of villages. So Harlow as a village, and Netswell, Magdalen, Laver, Hatfield Heath, all these, Roydon, Nasing, all these different villages. So, but March 1953 is when the first Harlow Citizen paper, and the Citizen really went up until about 2005. Last knockings of 2005. There was the Harlow Herald that went into 2010, and the Harlow Star January 2019. So that's 6 years. 6 years, but still a key resource. And there's really only 2 copies. Now, 1 copy is in the Harlow Museum, and they've been lovingly archived by the team down there. And this will come in other films. I go down there now and again and try and find something, which I'm probably going to go this week, because this has just come, even though I've done something different here, it's just sort of 9 o'clock tonight, 9 o'clock on Sunday, January the 5th, a programme on 7/7, and one woman from Harlow, Anne Moffat, died in 7/7, and that, as you know, 57 people died, a series of terrorist attacks, terrorist bombs, and it's always been a bit because of a mystery, not a mystery, but the only mystery, I think, is that if you go to the memorial, a series of photographs, there are 56 photos, no photograph of Anne. In any news item, there's never been a photograph of Anne. As it says in the obituaries and inquests, her parents died in, I think, 98 and 2002. Her brother Chris Moffat, he spoke at the inquest. But I'm just sort of, at the moment, thinking, why was there never a photograph? There's maybe a simple reason. But I will go down to see the papers, the Harlow Star, and find out who reported. Because she was, I think, head of marketing at Girl Guiding UK, so working in London. I wonder if they ever had a photograph. So it's just a little thing that sort of bugs me. There's no photograph. Her brother subsequently passed away, so was that the end of the Moffat family per se? So that story is past, present, and future. It would be nice, just for there to be a photograph of Anne, and it just seems a bit of a shame. The 56 faces, the tragedy of terrorism, but and then nothing for Anne. Whereas, and I'll get to him later, another piece, there's Simon Madison from Harlow, who died in 9/11, and his widow Maureen, who I have spoken to on a number of occasions, she keeps that Simon alive, the memory of Simon alive, and we have there's photographs, and we have spoken to her on Zoom. We did a piece back in September, and very much about that. So that's where, if I'm just doing a piece up, I've got one of our bloggers, residents, members of the faith community, Ian Beckett, this year is going to do once a month, sort of all our yesterdays, and I'll just about put January up. And so he went down and found the archive. It's a very valuable archive, but and so I can see pictures of a pub in Churchgate Street ravaged, and a January Burns night in the Harlow Caledonian Society, etc. So you're just sort of curious as to just a missing. There must be a photograph. You might say, well, if there isn't, Michael, such is life, But long as people remember Anne Moffat, and I'm sure they do. So that's really this piece on Sunday evening. It's about gaps in history, gaps in knowledge, gaps in history. But also maybe both are linked together. Maybe it's an element of rest in peace for the lady who passed away I believe in a car park in Old Harlow, to Anne Moffat, who was from Old Harlow. Maybe both come together on treat both with the dignity that they deserve.